All right, guys, I'm doing another video for you. My name is Leffinen. I'm trying to go through and help you guys out with different videos and different things that you might need to know. So this video is going to be dedicated to kingdoms when they open. Let's say that you're in a baby kingdom or in a new player's kingdom, and then you have it to where it opens up to the rest of the world. What exactly does that mean for you, for the other players around you, all this other kind of stuff? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you exactly what I've realized, what I've figured out, what I've talked to other players about, and what exactly that means for the average player. Okay, so first thing that you need to know, when a kingdom opens up, that means that other players from other kingdoms can come to your kingdom. So let's say, for instance, right, I'm going to try and find the button. Okay, over here. Show my city, show my da. Okay, so global map. On the bottom left-hand corner, if you're playing on the computer, it's a little icon and everything. Let me go through and show you guys. Hold on. So down here, if you're playing on the computer, and it's right here, right there. Now, if you have it to where, like, let's say, for instance, right, and I'm going to go to, like, my city area and zoom out my city. If you guys ever want to go through and access your city or zoom into where your city is, just press the My City button. It'll take you into your city, and then you can just press it again to get out of your city. But when you're looking around the map and everything down the bottom left-hand corner or whatever, you can see that there's a lot of red on there. So I have it to where my clan is the blue, and then there's all this red around it. And as you scroll through it or whatever, you can see like different parts and who exactly lives there, all that sort of kind of stuff. Beach line, all this other kind of stuff. So now, when you're looking at on a world stage, what exactly does that mean? So I'm going to go through and click on what we had before. This is our kingdom. This kingdom number 113. Now, granted, it just opened up, so it is no longer a baby stage or whatever, but it is to where, like, now we are open to the rest of the world. We have our king, and then we also have it to where the top player in our kingdom is this person. I was the top person in our kingdom for like a week, if that, maybe a few days. And then what ended up happening was the world ended up opening up and we got an influx of people from other kingdoms. Now, the strongest player, might-wise, in our kingdom right now came from a different kingdom. So what that ends up doing is it throws off the power struggle, where originally your clan or your, player is competing with other people within your kingdom. Once your kingdom opens up, I can pretty much guarantee it, you will not be the strongest person in your kingdom. The reason why is because other players from other kingdoms are going to come on in. Whether or not they are temporarily coming on in or whether or not they're going to reside there for a long time, or if a player, and there's a lot of people that do this, there's a lot of players that will create a new account or a new profile, and then they will basically set up shop in the new baby kingdom, and then they will decide, do I want to go through and move all my guys here, or do I just want to go through and, have it to where, like, oh, I let this profile grow, and then I'll move it to my main kingdom or whatever. So what ends up happening was we have another clan, and their name is BZZ or whatever. Pretty nice people. I mean, I get along with them halfway decent. But they had it to where a lot of their players had veteran level profiles that they imported on in from the other kingdoms that they have, that they're in order to bring it on over here. So BZZ went from third or fourth strongest all the way up to first place. But then you also had it to where this new clan, this Run kingdom, or this Run clan, went through and set up shop inside of our kingdom too. So then they're now the most strongest, or the strongest. So what you're going to end up noticing whenever your kingdom opens up to other kingdoms is that you're going to have a big shift in power dynamics. It's going to be to where, like, oh, SAS and TBC are equal. Oh, wait, now we're at the bottom or whatever. Or we're way further down because of it. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. What ends up, like, and gosh, I'm tonguing my words. What ends up happening over time is your kingdom will settle out. You will always have people moving from kingdom to kingdom and, oh, I work better in this one. I like the fit that I have in that one. I might have it to where, like, oh, I'm going to go over here because I like the most powerful clan over here or the most powerful clan over here. People will move around and decide what they want once the kingdom opens up. If you have it to where, like, let's say, for instance, you're trying to find something that fits for you. If you're a newer player, you need to find a kingdom that is basically further down on this list. So 113 opened up, so I know that we got to go further down than 113. Let's look on over to 114. So in 114, if you notice, there's a bunch of things in a bunch of other areas. Interact with this kingdom will be available in 21 days. So 114 will be the next kingdom to open up. So let's say, for instance, that you are a smaller player. You can have it to where, like, you will basically bump down from one kingdom to the next kingdom. Where it's like, hey, I really don't like, I'm not powerful enough in order to deal with all the people in 113. I'm going to move on down to 114. And then I'm going to move down to 115. And you can keep on bumping down and everything in order to stay away from the bigger players. And the bigger players are usually further up on this list. Because imagine it this way. If it's an older kingdom, that means that a lot of the people that reside there are probably, look at this, right? I don't know if you guys can tell by looking at this, but look at this Provito or whatever. Notice all the different titles that this person has. That means that they really, really are good at the different events. Now, it's either because they are freakishly strong, which OST is an extremely strong clan. If you guys don't know anything about the different clans or whatever, OST is pretty much the strongest. Whether or not you like them or not is completely up to you. I try not to judge as far as what another clan is like, whether or not they're good people or bad people or whatever. There is different clans that you will notice that it gears towards people that love to fight and that don't give a darn about anybody else. It's just true. Because if they're the most powerful, then they're going to attract the most powerful. And the people that want to be powerful in this game probably are powerful, hungry people. They do not like being second to anybody else. And that's their choice. If you want to be that way, you want to be that way. If you want to be nice and everything like that and just, go about and just enjoy the game a little bit or whatever, then that's fine too. Each kingdom is going to be very, very different from each other. Whether or not it's the Leaning Tower of Pisa or anything else along here, you have to decide what kingdom basically fits your needs. Is it to where the king is not the most powerful? Like, look, this person, different name than that. Okay, got it. And then they have it to where they have a few titles, but they don't have a ton of titles. Like that one guy, Pietro or whatever, the OST person. They have a ton of titles and they are also the king. So you know what that tells me, right? Is that like this person, Boy or Boy, they have a ton of titles and they also are king. They're the strongest and they have king. That means that they probably rule because they're the strongest clan, and it might be to where they play well with others, so they don't play with, or they don't play well with others. It all depends. So whenever your kingdom opens up, you have to decide what kingdom do you really want to be in. You have choices. It is not set in stone like, oh, I have to be this way or I have to be that way or whatever. You can look for a kingdom, like let's say, for instance, right, Kingdom 40. It has a king that has doesn't have many titles, and the top person does not have that many titles. This might be a good idea for somebody that's a lower level. But if you have one that's kind of like this, where the person has a ton of titles, and the person with the highest might has a darn good bit of titles and everything, if you're worried about like people rolling with an iron fist, that might not be the right one for you. So try and pick the one that fits. And I do mean that like entirely correctly. You know, whether or not it's a dating thing or a friendship thing or anything else like that. Like when I'm looking at kingdoms, right now I have my loyalty to my kingdom. But it might be to where eventually like it doesn't make much sense to stay there. And then I go to a different kingdom. So let's go back into our kingdom and you can take a look at what exactly this means for other people in our kingdom. All right, so I'm going to go through, and I think I tagged them as far as like, hey, I might want to keep an eye on these guys. No. Maybe it's further up. Aha, okay, I think, hopefully. No, that's BZZ, never mind. All right, well, maybe, I think, yeah. Wow, I have never seen that. A level 43 heroic. Interesting. So in case you guys haven't noticed and everything, heroics will usually pop up in the areas to where they might be needed. So like if you see a level 40 rare cursed squad or whatever, chances are it's only going to pop up in an area where you have a hero in this area that can actually fight something that's strong. So the fact that this is a level 43 heroic means that there's probably somebody in this area that is super, super strong. Now, if you're wondering as far as like, okay, what does that mean, right? The kingdom opened up and all this other kind of stuff. Now we have a person in this kingdom called Von Grog. I've never interacted with this person or whatever. But they have a hero at basically level 253. So that's like, holy crap, really strong. Their character has all purple armor. If you don't know anything about this, that means that it's a very high level, especially for something that gives them army strength, army strength, army strength, army strength, and army strength. This player, head to head against most other players, is going to win. You can look at what exactly they got, you know, their might, everything else, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Very nice. But when you open up the kingdom and everything, or the kingdom gets opened up, you're going to have it to where you will get supremely strong players in different areas that were not there before. Whether or not they're importing a profile because that person wasn't there before, or whether or not they have it to where people move from one kingdom to the next. Like, so let's look at this city right here. Iralad, or whatever. Okay, let's look at the character. Nope, I'm not messaging him. It's like, no. I don't want to put myself on their radar. Even without their different armor on here, and it's probably to where they're hiding their true identity or whatever, as far as how strong they are or, you know, aren't. They still have a might of 200 million. So if you have it to where you're joining a kingdom and everything, or like, you know, you're in the kingdom and somebody else is joining it or whatever, check them out. Look at them. See what exactly they have that, you know, you can notice or don't have. And then when you're looking around, you can be like, okay. Now, the new clan called Run. I'm hoping that I can find them, but I seriously doubt that I'm going to be able to easily. They had it to where when they first came in and all that kind of stuff, you saw it to where it was like, oh, here's 2 new clan buildings. Oh, wait, no, here's more. And they kept on multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. And then they brought in also another Run clan. So, like, if you want to see how exactly that goes, let's go to, where is it at? Rankings. Okay. So when we're looking at the rankings as far as like who's the wealthiest, who's the strongest, everything else in the whole entire kingdom, my clan is currently 3rd. That's not bad. Could be a heck of a lot worse. And then when you look at it, right, we can look at wealth, We can look at might. So the new Run clan has 3.67 billion might. It's pretty darn strong. So let's say that we want to look at them a little bit more. Okay, let's look at their members. Let's have it to where we look at their power, right? So they have a superior with 176 million. When you see that all their superiors and everything like that are basically, this is a guardsman level 6 or higher basically for their army. Pretty much. If they're in the 86 million range, that means that they're guardsman level 6 or above. Like when I'm over in my other account or whatever, I was guardsman level 7 with just guardsmen. I didn't do monsters. I didn't do economy, archaeology, army modernization, pretty much any of that stuff. I mean, I did some army modernization, but not that much. But my might was up at this level when I hit guardsman level 7 and guardsman level 8. So this person probably at least guardsman level 6 or 7 or 8, somewhere in there. Actually, it's either 6 or 7. I'm guessing 7. And then when we look down further, they have 387 million, 337 million, 300 million. This is the kind of thing that you can basically look forward to when your kingdom opens up. How strong of players are going to come into your kingdom? Whether or not it's players that already were here and they're importing their profiles, or like they're extra ones. Because a lot of veteran players, they don't just have one profile. They have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One person I talked to had 8 profiles. They had one main, and then they had like 3 that were purely for farms, 3 that were purely for silver, and then each one of them was contributing armies to their main profile. You gotta believe that some of these people are probably the exact same person with a whole lot of profiles. Especially when they get to veteran level and everything, you might see a whole heck of a lot more. Now, granted, they still have some weak level players and everything else like that. They're like lower in their might and everything. So they're not entirely power hungry, players or whatever. So you can go through and talk to them and figure out like, hey, how you doing? What's what is your ideal on power? And like, are you guys going to share it? Are you guys going to be like, all the is for us? There are clans that they go through and they try and have it to where they max out the Clash of Thrones and then they dominate in the rankings so that this way they can go through and elect themselves king, and then they'll take all the gold ingots from that kingdom and basically give it to themselves. So they can empty out basically all of your taxes and treasury and basically just give it to themselves. Like their bonuses, their help, their this, their that. So you got to be wary of other people that are coming in. What's their motivation? Are they might have been purely good people that are trying to escape another clan. Like, I don't know. I'm going to pick one and everything. Don't hold offense to it and everything. But let's say that if OST was actually full of jerks, who knows? They might be, they might not. And they decided to where they're going to beat up on a little clan or whatever constantly. You might have it to where that little clan from this one other kingdom or whatever. So I'm going to, let's go through and pick a little clan. Let's say this little clan right here, because as you notice, they don't have anything really leveled up. They got a level 2 capital. They're puny. If that one bigger kingdom, let's say that Run decided to be jerks, and these guys all basically had it to where they're like, I cannot stay here any longer. They're constantly beating us up. We need to go someplace else. Then you might have other clans that join your kingdom that are actually really good people. Or you might have other clans that join your kingdom that are actually, really bad people. Like Run, they might be really nice. I have no idea. Once we get to Clash of Thrones and we see as far as like who gets elected and everything else, you'll be able to tell really quickly, like, hey, this is a good clan, or hey, this is a bad clan for our kingdom. They're going to rule and basically take over, or they're going to be nice and they're going to help out everybody else, and they're going to occasionally be in charge, but they're not going to like rule with an iron thumb type of thing. So you got to decide pretty early on within the first few Clash of Thrones, do I really want to fight these guys? Like, yes, I could go through and try and get super strong and spend a whole lot of money in order to try and face off against a player like, this or whatever, or this one right here. But do I really, really want to? So you're going to have to basically go through and decide for yourself what exactly is that player like? What is that clan like? What is their purpose? What do they want to do? Are they powerful but good people, or are they powerful but evil people? That's going to be the thing. And then the advice that I got from one of my buddies and everything, War Reaper or whatever from UFC, I think he's in Kingdom 88, I think. I don't know. Pretty nice guy, at least so far. He said basically that when you have another clan that moves into your area, not this clan, BZZ is, they've been here, right? They imported some profiles, but they've been here. They're pretty good people. If you have it to where this other clan comes in, like Run or whatever, you're going to have to basically look and see, are they good or are they bad? If they're bad for your kingdom and they're going to rule with an iron thumb, then you're going to have to get everybody else, all the other red on the map. So like when you're like looking around at the map and you see like all this other red, you're going to have to talk to these people. You're going to have to go through and get along with these people. You're going to have to be like, hey guys, do you want to ally up and all of us just attack this new clan called Run or whatever? Or do we want to be nice and, go through and like be accepting of them and everything else like that? And so what that they're powerful and everything like that. As long as they're being fair, then who cares? This game should be about fairness, and a lot of people should basically go through and adapt the idea whenever their kingdom opens up of, one, what is fair? And then two, do I want to stay here or do I want to go someplace else? Once the kingdom's open, you always have that choice. You do not have to stay exactly where you're at. Like my clan, they go through and they ask me like, are you going to stick around? Are you going to go through and stick around? I want to, but I don't know if I'm always going to be able to. So when your kingdom opens up and when you are, like Leffernan from 113, blah, 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 you got to decide. My clan is not that powerful. If this other clan, let's say Run or BZZ, because they imported all those profiles, if they get in charge, are they going to be nice to other people or are they going to be jerks? If they are jerks, do we all fight them? Can we ally the rest of our kingdom? Or do we need to leave? And then you will see all these people right here have to make a choice individually. Do they want to leave to go to another kingdom or do they want to stay? That's the choice in this game that you have to do. So when kingdoms open up, always go through, and the very first thing I would advise for you guys to do, when your kingdom opens up, number one, look at who comes in. Figure out, are they able to be worked with, or are they not able to be worked with? Wait for one Clash of Thrones event in order to decide. You can't decide immediately. You don't want to prejudge somebody and everything. Just because they look one way doesn't mean that they are that way. Get to know them a little bit. If Clash of Thrones and immediately thereafter, if they start acting like jerks, do you want to fight them as an entire kingdom or do you want to go someplace else? That's what you guys have to decide. So as a kingdom and everything, as it opens up and all that kind of stuff, decide, are you going to stay and fight? Are you guys going to get along? Or are you going to go through and go someplace else? Whenever the kingdom opens up, that's the choices that you have. The other thing that I wanted to talk about whenever your kingdom opens up is rules. So ROE inside of your kingdom and everything like that, you have established rules and all that kind of stuff. And so you can always go through and look it up like, let's see, under group, ROE 113 read only. And by the way, whenever you see this or whatever, the rest of the other kingdoms can also read it. All they have to do is go into the search area and then go through and type in ROE 113, and chances are they'll be able to find your rules of engagement. Now, here's the most important thing that you need to understand. Just because your rules are a certain way doesn't mean that other people will do the exact same thing. Like, there was no event going on, that Clash of Kingdoms or whatever. There was no war games, no nothing going on. And the very first few minutes that our kingdom had opened up, I immediately got attacked. The reason why, other people from other kingdoms wanted to see how strong probably I was. Either that or they already knew about me and they already didn't like me. So be it, whatever. So I get a notice over the fact that, oh, incoming attack and everything. And because I have Ulrich, it took at least 7.5 minutes. So then what I did was I immediately bubbled up and I teleported my city from right here to right here. And the reason why I did that is because of the fact that once you teleport your city, they can't attack you anymore. So I went through and I bubbled, teleported and everything. And once you're bubbled and you've actually been sitting and nobody has an incoming attack, then you can't be attacked. So by bubbling and moving, therefore I could actually have it to where nobody could attack me. And then what also happened within the first hour was we had Arachne that was going on. Arachne, I was going through and gathering around, I had a portal right around Arachne herself, and then I was going through and attacking Arachne. My portal started to get attacked. So it said incoming attacked. I checked and see exactly where it was at, and sure enough, it was on my portal. If you are a bigger player in your kingdom and the kingdom opens up, close all your portals and bubble up immediately. What's going to end up happening is the bigger players from other kingdoms or from inside your kingdom, they're going to forget about you. And when they forget about you, they're going to attack somebody else. Sad to say this and everything, a lot of people that are in this game, they don't have long memories. They will, oh, I'm really pissed off at this person, I'm going to attack them. And then, oh, I'm really pissed off at this person, I'm going to attack them. And then they forget over the fact that, oh yeah, a month ago and everything, we fought each other. Sometimes it sticks in their brain, but very, very rarely do you see players that really do that. So when you're going through and you're trying to basically decide, hey, my kingdom is opening, what should I do? Very first piece of advice, bubble. Figure out what exactly other people are going to do and everything inside your, that are incoming into your kingdom. Whether or not it's another clan, another player, or whatever. And then go through and watch and see what they do. If they're going to attack the hell out of people and they're going to be malicious or whatever, then you kind of know, hey, I either have to fight them or I had to ally up with everybody else that I was having problems with before. Like one of the other players that I first started out disliking and then I got to know them, and also I respect the way that they play. Like him and I, now, we work together. Anybody that wants to work together and everything like that, even if I fought them before, I will still work with them. Because it's not about the petty differences. It's about staying in the game. Having it to where you actually enjoy playing the game. If you're constantly getting beaten up in this game, you will not like it. And then you'll try and go to a different game. So you have to decide what's going to make you happy. Your kingdom opens up. This very last thing I'm going to say, just to wrap it all up. Look at who's coming in, figure out what they're going to do, and then decide, do you want to fight them, ally up with them, or flee from them and go someplace else? And it might not be ally up with them. You might want to ally up with somebody else in your kingdom or all of your kingdom in order to go ahead and fight them. Hopefully that goes through and helps you guys out with when kingdoms open up. I'm going to be doing more videos probably every single 2 days or so. It's got to be to where I actually figure out a topic that I haven't really covered or something that I need to hit harder on in order to help you guys out. But hopefully that helps, and you guys have a good day. Bye.